Hi, my name's Alan Carter. I'm the president and CEO of Cabral Gold. Cabral has an advanced exploration project called Cuiú Cuiú in northern Brazil, where we currently have 2 gold deposits with existing resources that total about 1 million ounces. We have 5 rigs turning, and in the last 18 months, we've made 5 new discoveries.
Alan, good to see you. Thanks for coming back on the show. Look, I wanted to catch up. We only spoke 5 weeks ago, right? But I want to speak to you because I'm slightly confused, right? So this story to me, out of the gate, was always another 1 million ounce, low grade, circa 1 million gram per ton story. Yet I'm seeing all these high grade numbers on your press releases. So what is it? What is this thing that you're trying to build?
Cuiú Cuiú, Matt, is a district scale project. We knew about 2 deposits back in 2018, and there's 43 targets around those 2 known deposits, which are 5 kilometers apart. Now, the existing resource estimate from 2018, back then we had a number of high-grade drill intercepts, but we didn't have enough high-grade drill intercepts to separately wireframe out high-grade resource. So the high-grade was treated with the low-grade, and when the engineers got involved and they calculated the resource estimate, they regarded the high-grade drill intercepts that we had back then as statistical outliers. So they were cut way back. So all that high-grade, most of that high-grade material did not make it in the resource estimate. So the principal focus for us right now is to get sufficient holes into these high-grade zones in order to be able to model those separate from the low-grade mineralization. In addition to that, since 2018, we've made several, as I said in the introduction, we've made several discoveries, 2 of which are hard rock zones, which also have a lot of high-grade mineralization in them, and 3 of them are lower sort of oxide blankets, which were weathered material that's in sand and mud on surface.
Right, but not answering my question though, because I'm trying to work out. I guess it's a district-wide opportunity, right? And you've got that 2018 data, so it's $1 million. It's million ounces. It's 1.2 gram on an average. But you now go, and we've talked in the past about these blankets, right? These are kind of low-grade blankets. You've got 3 of them, which possibly, mean near-term revenue for you guys if you go after those. But you've also got 5 drills turning, and they keep throwing up these high grade results. I mean, these are, not insignificant numbers. So what's the strategy? What am I meant to be looking at?
Yeah, I did answer your question. The key strategy, the central part of what we're doing, Matt, is defining these high-grade zones within the MG and central gold deposits. We need to get sufficient drill holes within these high-grade zones, which are surrounded by low-grade mineralizations, in order to separately define those high-grade zones so they're not subject to the punitive top cutting that we had in 2018, and they form distinct separate zones. I mean, look, the drill results we put out today, that's 9.6 meters at 16.4 grams per ton gold. There's a high-grade zone at Central, just like there is at MG, but this new zone at Central looks like it's 100 meters long and it's open at both ends. It's 350 meters deep. We've drilled it to 350 meters and it's still open at depth, and it looks like it's 25 meters wide. There's an awful lot of high-grade material in the drill holes within this zone. So over the next few months, we hope to have sufficient drill holes into this zone to actually, as I said, calculate a separate resource for that high-grade material.
But is that the new focus? Do we forget what's gone before?
Well, it's not a new focus. Look, we started drilling at MG. There's a very nice high-grade core to MG, which is about 235 meters long. We don't know, we haven't traced it so far down, but it's certainly open at depth. We've got some cracking holes. Just in the last 5 weeks since I last spoke to you, we've drilled 17.5 meters at 4 grams at MG. And that's on top of a whole bunch of other very nice, big, wide sections of pretty good grade. So there's a high-grade zone at MG that we hope to separately window out as a separate resource. And now there's one emerging at Central. So it's very exciting times for the company. Also, we've got these 2 new discoveries at PDM and Mashishi, where we had no resource back in 2018. They're not part of these oxide blankets, but we've drilled just again in the last 5 weeks. We've drilled 18 meters at 2.5 grams at PDM. That's a step out hole from the 22.4 meters at 4.8 grams a ton gold. There was no resource on that zone, Matt. So there's a lot going on. It's district wide, and there is a lot of high grade material at Cuiú Cuiú.
Well, that's my point. It is a district-wide opportunity. It seems to be giving up gold for you wherever you drill, but there's slightly different profiles, right? So, like I say, I'll come back. MG, PDM, and Central, in terms of these oxide and blanket stuff, that was a good story. I think the market reacted to that and sort of understood it. Potentially anti-dilutory type strategy in the sense that it could throw off cash, right? Then you've kind of got the hard rock stuff, and the PDM hard rock bit and the Machiche hard rock story. And the drilling that you're doing now at depth at Central, for instance, this is my problem is there's so much to look at. There's so much good stuff to look at. You're, $55 million, $60 million market cap company here. You've kind of moved sideways share price for the last 6 months, which I guess you could count as a win in this market. Most people have been hit hard. And, a certain amount of cash available to you to do this work. So I do keep coming back to that is, what is the core focus for you? What's secondary? What's tertiary? What should I be looking for going forward with you? Is it more of these high grade headlines?
Yeah, look, the core focus, as I've already said, is basically to drill off these high grade zones at both Central and MG, and also hopefully to define high grade zones within the new discoveries at Machiche and PDM. Now, we expect to update the resource at MG later this year. I think it'll probably be early next year before we're in a position to update the resource at Central. That's the primary focus, Matt. And so most of our drill budget is going into that. The secondary objective really is to get a grip on these blankets. Right? There's 3 of these oxide blankets. They were a surprise. We only discovered the first one. I think it was back in April last year, about a year ago. Since then, we've discovered 2 more. These blanket material is in they're lower grade, but they're sitting on surface in unconsolidated material, mud and sand. So the mining and the processing cost of this material is very, very low. This month, we should find out whether this material could be amenable to heap leaching. And if it is, obviously that does give us a potential opportunity to get into production at very low capital cost and very quickly. So, I expect results on the met work, which is key, towards the end of this month. So that's the secondary objective. But the primary objective is really to establish how much of this high-grade material we've got. I will say that in so doing, in not only we're defining these high-grade zones within the 2 existing deposits and the 2 new discoveries, we're finding a lot of additional low-grade too. So that's where we're going.
Okay, so, right. You've got 5 drills turning. How many meters or how many dollars or however you want to measure it will you be allocating through the drill bit?
Well, we said we would drill about 25,000 meters this year. We drilled 25,000 meters last year. So since 2018, I think the 2018 estimate was based on about 27,000 meters at Central and MG. We're now at about 35,000 additional meters. This year, we should drill another 25,000 meters. So it'll be similar to what we drilled last year. And I guess we're probably looking at drilling another 15 to 20,000 meters to the end of the calendar year.
Right. So let's come back to the met work on the blankets. Okay. Some point this month, you will share with us, what that looks like. You're also going to need to allocate some capital to help you understand the potential economics around that one, to be able to go and raise money. It's low capex, but you still got to go and raise some money, right? So have you got the money to be able to do those economics?
Not right now. We're going to have to raise a little bit more money, but obviously, the frustrating thing about when you're in exploration, it's basically research and development, is, you're dependent on raising money you don't have any cash flow. And so the identification of these oxide blankets gives us the opportunity to generate some cash flow in fairly quick succession. So assuming that the met work is positive from these column leach tests, the heap leach testing that we're doing right now, we'll then move pretty quickly towards defining resources on these 3 blankets and doing a scoping study. So that will happen later this year. Once we've got the scoping study, we'll probably need to do a pre-feas work just to make sure that we've nailed down all the risks and then move forward with financing, hopefully.
Okay, exciting times. Look, Alan, thanks for the quick catch up. Appreciate that. Loving these new high grade headlines coming out. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks very much, man.